Oh, who would be a Wolves fan, eh?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to your latest Wolves Fancast episode. As always, I'm Little Dan. On tonight's show, I've got with me Tyler from @Wondrous on Instagram. How are you, Tyler?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Very good. Thanks for joining us tonight. I think it's maybe your second or third episode now.
Yeah, I think second, yeah.
Okay. Greg, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm still enjoying the warm weather we've got at the moment.
Yeah. It's going to be a difficult one in this living room that I'm in at the moment. I'm already feeling tight in this Waterhouse weight off. You both went to the Best Scott Super Arena on Saturday. What was your thoughts, Greg, on the performance, the results, the sort of getting from the team within close quarters on the day?
I think the reality is it was a mixed bag. I think we were good, particularly for the first 15 minutes. I think as we moved into the second half, they kind of refreshed the whole team at half time. We obviously drip for the substitutions. And I think you could just see during the second half, we became weaker and they became more stronger and consistent. I think it was good to see a partnership building on the right-hand side with Trippier and Rodrigo. I think that was promising, but I think there was some of the same old challenges and some of the same old issues. So hopefully now with a few more players starting to come back and opportunities for people to state their claim, hopefully we'll see a better performance against a weaker opposition tonight in Doncaster.
One of my positives within my tantrum post-match on Saturday was the relationship that you just mentioned with Trippier and Rodrigo Gomez. I do like the balance of that. I think the reliability of Trippier behind him will give him a bit more thrust to be a bit more attacking when he might have been reluctant last season with how he, was shipping goals and whatnot. That's a nice little relationship I see growing there. But Matheus Mane was lively throughout the time that he was on the pitch. Apart from that, there's still a lot of frustrations building for me, but a few more players returned to the squad now. Obviously, Raul returned to training today at Compton. What was your thoughts and feelings on the match Saturday, Tyler?
Again, it was definitely a mixed bag, and I feel, as you said, there's some positives like Mane getting on the ball. I wish he'd take on his man a lot more. I really do. A lot of the time he was calling for help, and the lads just seemed to stand there and be like, "What do you want us to do? Take on your man." Because I think he had the stripping of their right back every single time. He had the stripping of him. As you say, Rodrigo and Trippier, they're perfect together. And I think when you look at Trippier, his crosses, Raul, maybe Adam Armstrong, but definitely Raul, he gets his head to them, and we're scoring for fun. I think in the Championship, definitely.
Yeah, I did say to you off air, I didn't know that I came away quite frustrated after the Maidenhead game, but with an Armstrong or a Raul for Chihuahua's chances, we probably win that game quite comfortably on the night. I think there is definitely positives, but there is a lot more negatives at the moment, which is building with the lack of transfer activity. I think the frustration is from the fan base is what we were told with the fan group meeting in January and then the fans forum meeting with the BBCWM that followed, where the club came out and said that they were going to get the business done early and they were going to be big hitters in the transfer window. And I think whether it's a reluctance to spend, which a lot of you will probably think it is, I think it's also a bit of naivety from Nathan Shee to think that I'm just going to go against the grain, where a lot of clubs, if you look in the Championship specifically, there hasn't been a lot of activity, has there, Greg, from other clubs, especially like the ones that we're going to be likely competing against, your West Hams, your Burnleys, whatnot?
No, I think this is it. I think the problem is the club have set themselves up for this. Let's be honest. Nathan and Matt Jackson have created this problem, and they didn't need to create it, but they did, because they were the ones that come out and said, we're going to do transfer activity early. They're the ones that said they're going to spend money. So they've created this problem. If they weren't certain that they were going to do it, they should have just kept their mouth shut, but they didn't, right? And that has created this problem. The part of the other challenges is we've got, and I know it looks, and I can see comments already about what's the squad. We've got a lot of players that are still going to come into this squad. This squad actually is big. You know, if you look at the loan players that were returned, you're looking at players that are coming back from World Cup duty. You've mentioned, obviously, Raul, but you've got players like Krejci and stuff like that as well. Moller Wolf that are in the squad at the moment and will be brought back in. And we need to kind of cut the squad down as well. Otherwise, we'll end up with a squad of 40 players, potentially, if we don't shift them on. And that's going to be a problem for us. But as I said, they've started this challenge by setting an unrealistic expectation. And, you know, this is where the frustration, the noise is coming from.
Do you feel that the goalpost got moved after those comments they made? Because obviously Rob Edwards got sacked after the fans forum. We commented, didn't we, on our social media that there's a plausibility that Rob Edwards was sacked due to the overall that he was projecting to be needed. But I think without the initial Fosun war chest that we had under Nuno, they was never going to get their business done early unless they were throwing proper money at it, were they?
I think you can make some allowances for that, but let's be honest, gents. We've had about 7 months to prepare for this transfer window because we knew we were down December time, right? And that's the reason why Agbadu and others got shipped out, Strand Larson in January. So they've had 6 months to get themselves ready. And good clubs, other clubs that have been in the Premier League for a long time, they are manager neutral. They can still go out and buy players even though they've changed managers. You look at teams like Brentford, things like that. They can still, Brighton, they still buy players, bring those in, even if the manager swaps over. And we're saying we can't, which I don't buy into. I think the reality is that Nathan didn't understand, and I don't think Matt Jackson did. And I think that is what we're seeing right now, is that they're not on top of this because we haven't seen any players go out really, with the exception of Tolu, and we're not seeing anyone else really coming in after the first couple of transfers.
Yeah, it's not giving Caesar a strong platform to bounce off, is it?
I don't think so. And the reality is we need to get some fresh blood in here just to get people in that haven't been tarnished by the relegation or anything like that. We need to get some new people in, some fresh ideas, and, you know, and start to build a squad based on what Caesar wants to play. You know, we can see there's a difference here in terms of the style that he wants to do and the types of players he needs, you know, particularly wide players, and we need to go and support that.
What's your feelings on the lack of transfer activity so far, Tyler?
I totally agree. I think as a club we should actually have a model like your Brightons do, where, you know, it doesn't matter who's managing the club, we have our style of play. We continue to do that style of play, so we can buy players no matter who is in charge. I like how Cesar's setting up. You know, the pressing constantly, but I feel like that with the lack of transfers, we are literally just looking at the same team. Yes, we have a big squad, obviously, but I think some of these players I don't think want to play in the Championship at all anyway, so they're not really bothered.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think for me as well, Dan, I think what we're starting to see is he's starting to build his ideas. We need people to fit those ideas. One of the things I spotted on Saturday is that Marnie was very wide, like he was literally on the touchline here on the left-hand side, and he was open a lot. And I think, Tyler, that was the frustration you were referring to. Like, you could see he was constantly like, give me the ball. Now, I feel like he could have done more with it on occasions. Like you said, Tyler, he had the beating of the right back and he should have gone down the wing, not tried to keep cutting back inside all the time. But I think you can see those patterns of play, and we need to give him the tools to be able to implement that, which is a change of players, you know, and refresh of players. There are players that we've seen, like Chirua and Chouame, that I'm sorry, they're just not Championship standard. And given their ages, I don't think they will make that level, if I'm honest, because I think they would have made it by now. Players like Mane and even Adozie have gone past them now, from an ability standpoint. So, you know, we've got to look at that. The other big thing that I saw today, someone posted, and I'm sorry whoever did post it, I've forgotten. It's obviously our record in August is horrific under Fosun. Absolute dog turd. You know, we win hardly anything in August, and we can't afford to be like that in this league, in this season. We've got to get a good start, and part of that is getting those players in now, not at the end of August.
Definitely. It's been a long, frustrating period, hasn't it? That August time. I don't think we even did overly great in Nuno's first month, did we? In that August, now we beat Middlesbrough and Hull. Sorry, yeah, Middlesbrough and Hull the first two games. I know. Did we get beat by Cardiff in that first month? You'll have to refresh my mind in the comment section. Let's have a quick look at the squad for tonight's game away to Doncaster Rovers. Dan Bentley in the sticks again. I mean, that's a massive frustration, isn't it? That we're a week, 9 days away from Port Vale in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And we still haven't brought a goalkeeper in. Another frustration for me, as shown again tonight. We had 8 subs against Sociedad on Saturday, and 2 of them were goalkeepers, and we've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench again tonight. But yeah, let's go through the starting lineup. Dan Bentley in goal, back 4, right to left, Chachua, Giga, Totti, and Hugo Bueno. Midfield 3 of Doyle, Traore, and 16-year-old Jerome Abbey. Looking forward to seeing him get started tonight and see what the future of our midfield looks like. A front 3 of Rodrigo Gomez on the right, Tomadozi on the left, and Adam Armstrong in the number 9. Your thoughts on the starting up tonight, Tyler?
I knew he was going to go weak against Doncaster, to be honest. As you said, Bentley is frustrating. I think he faces a long shot, and 9 times out of 10 he lets it in anyway, which is really frustrating. And we all know Sar's not going to be in the team ever again, I don't think. As for the 4, Nasser, I know a lot of Rangers fans weren't a fan of him. I'm 50-50 on him, if I'm being honest. I'm not too sure on him. Totti, Hugo, I think they're good enough. Obviously, when you're looking towards Port Vale, the championship game against Blackburn, Chachura, I'm just not a big fan. I honestly don't think the guy can run a bath. I'm quite happy to see Doyle again playing. Traore, I'd love to see given a chance. Obviously, Abbey, very good to see him, being given a chance. I think when he come on against Burnley, I was like, this kid could do something in the championship, to be fair, given the right amount of time and to learn, not just drop him in the deep end. Gomez, I think he has to start anyway, as we go forward. And obviously Armstrong would be replaced by Raul. With a Dozy, I'm quite a big fan of him, actually. I think he could grow into a role in the team. I think he's very much a squad player. I wouldn't be starting him. But, I knew it was going to be weaker against Doncaster tonight.
I think the problem with the Dozy on Saturday was you could just tell he was out of position. I mean, you watch him in the warm-up. He's not a striker. He wasn't, crashing the ball in. I think one of the chances he had in the warm-up, I think he cleared the stand. So he's not a striker, and playing him out of position, he was a fish out of water. So I think that was a big problem for him. I think he needs to be back in that midfield or attacking midfield position for him to get any real chance of progressing. He's definitely not a makeshift striker, and hopefully Armstrong will support that. But we'll need players around him tonight. Armstrong's a decent enough player, but he's not a player that's going to be holding the ball up, winning headers. Let's be honest, that's not his style. So we're going to need to be a bit more on the floor, maybe use the channels, balls into the channels a bit more, and then, build from there.
Positive to see Fer Lopez back on the bench tonight. Apparently Celta Vigo returned to Wolves in the last few days with another line proposal for Fer Lopez, but the club have been firm with their rejection to the proposal. Cesar Pachotto apparently is very keen on having Fer Lopez a part of his squad this season, so hopefully he can stay fit and have a real impact on this division. What's your thoughts on Fer Lopez, Tyler? Fan or not?
I'm quite a big fan of him. I watched a couple of games where he played at Celta Vigo, and I think he is probably going to be one of them that was under the radar. No one really thought he'd do anything, because a lot of people just thought he'd stay at Celta Vigo anyway. And I think he will probably be in and around the number 10 role with Mane. He probably could go onto the wing, but I reckon him and Mane in those number 10 roles in the number 10 role is going to be quite key, I think, for us anyway.
Yeah. Massively frustrating, the news that came out yesterday that Rafiki Saeed has injured his MCL and he's likely to be out until maybe October, possibly November. Jean-Rick Bellegarde has injured his right hamstring, which is different to the one he'd injured at the start of the year, I believe. And Sam Johnson has had shoulder surgery, so he'll likely be another few weeks. I did see Maximus in the comment section saying that there's a rumour going around that Kieran Trippier is trying to convince Sam Johnstone to stay. I hope that's not a thing because, yeah, Jose Sarr needs out. I need Sam Johnstone out. Sam Johnstone was Aston Villa's goalkeeper when we were last in the Championship. I just don't feel he's a keeper that I've got a lot of faith in. I don't really feel there's any much difference between Jose Sarr and Sam Johnstone ability-wise. I think Jose Sarr is probably a little bit better as a shot stopper. I think Sam Johnston's probably a little bit better than with his feet, but compared to Jose Sarr's feet, I don't think it's anything to shout home about. Disappointed with the news on Soye, Greg?
Yeah, we've had a few of these. I mean, we've had loads over the years. We've had a few of these recently, and I just wonder, is it a jinx thing or is it something that we're not doing from a physio perspective? And I think that's, again, goes back to the club and are we doing the right investment? Are we doing the right things, or are we just unlucky? Not quite sure, but obviously that's going to give him a staggered start, and which means he's now going to have to come into the team in the middle of let's be honest, a hectic championship season and getting up to speed in the hustle and bustle when, the season's up and running is going to be more of a challenge for him than at the start of the season. So I think it's going to be an interesting start for him, and he's going to have to really pull his finger out to get up and running. And I think it means we probably will need to go back out to the market to invest. If he's going to be out for 2 to 3 months, then we need to start looking at making sure we've got that quality, because we are going to be playing quite wide.
Yeah. The Wolves squad are just coming out onto the pitch. You can watch it live on the Wolves website for an audacious £5 fee. On the back of Wolves getting relegated in the manner that we did last season, the fact that they've had the audacity to charge the supporters £5 per game for these pre-season friendlies, to me, is laughable. But that's just another bow in the guitar of madness that they're strumming Fosun at the moment. We have asked this in the group, haven't we, Greg? Because we talked about Saeed there and Wolves having to go back out to market. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this, Tyler. Between Raul Jimenez, Mateus Mane and Rodrigo Gomez, do you think between the three of them, they will get 60 goal contributions between the three this season in the league?
I reckon, I would think quite easily. But then, is that me being a bit delusional? Maybe, because I'm remembering the Raul of old. But I mean, he was still banging them in for Fulham. I do think quite easily, but then, the way we're playing quite ferociously and 2 games every week, like with that constant press, I do think we are going to need people to come in instead of them at times. You know what I mean? Because I think some of them are going to get little knocks here and there. But I wasn't really a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Rafiki. I think, I looked at him and I was like, it's one of them where you're like, I don't actually see what we're getting here, but yeah.
That's the thing with Rafiki, isn't he? I mean, you look at the transfer fee that we paid for him, and he's a 26-year-old winger that's been playing in Belgium. It doesn't really set the fireworks going, does it, Greg?
No, and I think we've got to, listen, we've had some good players out of there. We've had some awful players out of there. So I think it'll be interesting to see where it is. I think for me tonight, is about patterns of play. I think it's about seeing whether players like Jerome Abbey are worthy of getting squad time this season and minutes, and looking at Cesar's kind of setup. I think the bigger one is Saturday, where you're looking at potentially, is Krejci going to come back in? Is, Santi back? Is Raul going to get minutes? You would expect he would. I think it's going to be a lot of those things to look at for Saturday. I think tonight, as I said, for me, it's looking at patterns of play. I think another one for me would be Tommy Doyle. He was a player I liked before we loaned out. I'd like to see what he can do again today, particularly in a more advanced position. Can he dictate the game? Can he be a player that unlocks, defenses?
Yeah. Big chance for Tommy Doyle tonight. I think he needs to impact the game a lot more than what we've seen from Andre in these last 2 games. I did moan about that, didn't I? Maidenhead, that a player of Andre's calibre needs to be impacting the game a lot more than what he is, instead of just sitting in front of our back four and just playing the safe passes. We are just about to kick off at Doncaster Rovers. Tyler, your score prediction for this?
I'm going to go 4-0 Wolves. Quite confident we get some goals here.
I'm going 3-0, Greg.
I'm going to go 3-1 just because I think there'll be a lot of subs and I think we'll get a bit more fragmented. And I think that might give them an opportunity. So I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1, Greg. The thing that I'm noticing quite quickly from the off is that it's Jerome Abbey who's in the defensive mid in front of the defence with Doyle and Traore, the third midfielder.
Yeah.
Drop your predictions in the chat, guys. There's no prizes tonight, but yeah, if you want to drop your predictions. Maximus has gone for the same as me because he knows the right score. But yeah, anyone else wants to drop in there? Martin, we've got it on. Martin, we've got it on the Wolves website. We've been crazy enough to pay £5 to watch this tonight. Still probably cheaper than me going up to there. Thanks, Evie, for your prediction. We've got 2-0 in there. I mean, the good thing about these pre-season games is the pitch is always like immaculate.
I think that was the frustration, wasn't it? We talked about Rafiki Soye getting injured. It felt a bit naive to go to Maidenhead with their quality of the pitch, with the slope and whatnot. I know it was part of the Max Kilman deal, though, wasn't it?
Yes, so that was part of the Max Kilman deal. But he was He felt a bit. He was rushed all the time. A lot of pressing early doors here, which is good. But he just kind of everything he felt when he was on, like his touch was a bit too heavy, and it felt like he was kind of running on adrenaline.
Apparently, jarred his knee, taking a shot in the opening period, and unfortunately for the player and definitely for Wolves, MCL's not a quick fix. So apparently he'll be in a cast for 6 weeks. He'll have injections to speed the healing process along, and then he'll have to rebuild himself up from there. So possibly, I mean, it's definitely a negative, but possibly a good chance for Wolves to go back out to the market and bring a few other players in. We have been heavily linked to Andre Luiz from Olympiacos, but he's close to joining, or he has already joined Sporting Kansas in the MLS, which is massively frustrating compared to what we class ourselves as in regards to size of our club compared to Kansas.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I mentioned, I was joking about it the other day, particularly with Chelsea's squad size now, with them seeming to bringing in a dad's army of Welbeck and Henderson in there. I wouldn't be adverse to a couple of loan signings from the likes of Chelsea. I think Man City did a demo game or a friendly game the other day where they had all their players, 21 players they want to take out on loan. Yeah. And they had them out doing that. I wouldn't be averse to getting a couple of those players.
I mean, Greg, it's an absolute no-brainer why we're not already in the loan market when you saw the success of Diogo Jota, Helder Costa in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, you go a bit further back, you look at players like Huddleston when we brought him in from Spurs, Michael Mancien from Chelsea, and I know I'm talking a few years ago here, but you look at the difference those guys had when they were brought in. They brought in, that skill and ability, and they'll want to play. If they're local lads, they're going to want to play and show themselves. So I think we should be definitely looking at that, and I'm disappointed that we haven't brought anyone in on that basis. If we're focused on the season, then why would you not bring them in for this season?
Yeah, frustrating. What have you made to the opening few minutes, Tyler?
Again, really liking the press. I didn't like us passing on the back a few minutes ago. It was giving me a bit of heart palpitations because, our keepers sometimes aren't the best with their feet. But yeah, just on that loan thing, I totally agree. I don't know why we've not looked at loans. Like you said, City, they have that many players. I think, was it McAtee? I think they've had players such as Taylor Harwood, Bellis and stuff who have gone to Southampton on loan, and then they either get brought or you just send them back. I mean, Tommy Doyle is one. I know he didn't work out, but I still think he's quite a good player for what the price we paid and, the loan to start off with. Try before you buy, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, is it one of the Heskey brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regan.
Regan, Heskett. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
There's a few of those like that, and you look
That's
at
the thing, isn't it? You mentioned the loans in the previous years when we got Colton Cole on loan from Chelsea. There has to be a striker within the Big Six's academy that we should be trying to get as our third striker. If after Tyler's gone, I can't imagine Sasha will be here for the season. If he is, he's a good option, but I think Sasha needs to move for his own benefit, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I think that's what we've got to look at and just start to be a bit more, I would say creative, but it's not being creative, is it? Let's be honest, gents. It's about just thinking about what situation we're in and what some of the good options would be. That's a great ball by Doyle.
Yeah, Tommy Doyle's just had a good effort. Saved well. I think Tyler's a little bit ahead of us, Greg.
Huh?
I think so, yeah. There's a lovely save.
Yeah. It was a good move from start to finish. Obviously, Dozy cutting in from the left, dead centre, and it's a strong right hand from the keeper. It's a very good save. Wolves corner.
But I think it's that pass from Doyle there as well. That's the kind of ball we just don't play or haven't played. It's always been sideways or backwards. Maximus Danny Bart came through the academy at Wolves. He went out on loan a few times, but Danny Bart came through the youth academy. Mark's asking us to try to be commentators. we're bad enough just chatting generally, mate, rather than anything else. We'll try and do our best, but yeah, we need Mikey Burrows back to cover us from that one, mate. Please, yeah.
I was told by Mikey on Saturday, post my tantrum online, that the one thing the club needs at the moment is positivity. I'm trying to be as positive as I can, but with the lack of transfer activity, it is hard to really invest in this club at the moment, when even with the new chairman coming in, they've not really given us anything to trust. Obviously, with the news that the Category 1 status was close to being revoked, thankfully, it was revealed yesterday that we have been able to keep it. They need to show us a bit more ambition, don't they? Not necessarily, on the pitch, 100%, but the infrastructure of the club as well.
Yeah. And I was quite vocal about that in the group, Dan, because let's be honest, that hasn't got any dependency on buying players, managers, nothing like that. That is something they know the standard, they know what needs to be there, and they know the level of investment. And that is on Fosun 100%, and the leadership within the club.
Yeah. Lovely little bit of play there, wasn't it, Tyler? I think there was a switch across from Totti to Rodrigo Gomez, nice little backheel to Tommy Doyle, and it was a dangerous cross that Doyle put in, but no striker.
No striker to finish it. No striker to finish it all. Lovely cross again. I think they're going to be very important, in the season. But yeah, I think going on to the academy and stuff like that, I think it's terrible how we've let that rot, really. Because we used to have even Morgan Gibbs-White coming through the academy. We had players that come through the academy, even if we got rid of them. And it just, it seems rotten when I look at the academy, because anyone that's actually any good either gets thrown away before they even make it to the main team, or they get sent on that many loans. You lose track. We lost Nathan Fraser for I think a whole season. He went to Belgium, but I don't know if he ever played there. I think he just went on holiday to Belgium.
Yeah, Totti just give away a needless free kick, and Doncaster will lump the ball into our box just around 9 minutes.
I do worry about Totti in the back four generally. I'm worried about his distribution, and I'm also worried about he's just the way he positions. He got ran off by the strikers on the weekend far too easily. Yeah, and that is a big concern for me.
Totti did head away that set piece there, and Doncaster about to lump a long throw into the Wolves box. Dan Bentley comes out like a prime Matt Murray to collect.
I won't go that far, but yeah, he did collect it. I think this is where we're going to focus as a team a lot. He's got on these wings. So you've got Hugo Bueno and Moller Wolf and then obviously Mane and that very wide. You can see here now as the play's building up, Chachu is literally standing on the line. And I think again you're looking at players like Rodrigo here, who's drifting in from the wide to open up the space for Chachu here to run onto. Yeah. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of activity as a team, is going very wide with potentially wingers coming in slightly to open up the fullbacks and then build out from there. I think that's where we'll see a lot of our play this year. I think
Jerome Abbey's been extremely tidy so far, apart from one stray pass. Wolves on the attack with a Hugo Bueno on the left-hand side. Back to
because he hasn't got the option in the box.
Doyle, Doyle, Armstrong, Adozie, crosses in. Oh, cleared away. Wolves pressing. I think it will be key having an actual natural number 9 like Raul, who's got a bit more physicality to him than Adam Armstrong. But I think Adam Armstrong probably as clinical with the off chances that we'll probably hope to create this season.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we should expect as a team is that we should expect to have more possession going into the season. We will have the ball for longer periods than we did in the Premier League. Yeah. And we may find teams that will come in and, potentially some of the teams that are, look potentially going to struggle, teams that are coming up that are going to sit down, sit back and have banks of 4 and hold back, and we're going to have to break teams down. And to do that, we're going to need to be able to move the ball quickly and also use them wings.
Looks like Tommy Doyle's a bit more of a makeshift player to me at the moment. I would have thought he would have been, say, in front of the defence tonight, but the fact that Jerome Abbey's been trusted there by Caesar suggests to me that Tommy Doyle's just filling the gap until they bring in the midfield that we've been reporting on the Fancast socials in the last week.
Maybe, or for Fair Lopez. Fair Lopez, he's in that kind of advanced position here.
Yeah, possibly. I think
if you look at him now, he's in a 10 role really. There, Armstrong was the 9, he was the 10, and then you got the midfield dropping back 10 behind. So
that's Ziga collecting the ball in the middle of the park over to Hugo Bueno. We have been not really been tested by Doncaster as such yet. We've moved the ball okay. Just needing that bit of a spark. Obviously, we've had the one chance through Tommy Dozie after a Tommy Doyle through ball. Not bad so far. I think a lot more promising than what we saw against Sociedad on Saturday. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks again to everyone that's joined us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We may be doing another live stream on Saturday for the game against Racing Santander. So, like I said, subscribe so you don't miss any live shows or any content whatsoever.
Yeah. I think, Paul, you've put a note in around Jerome Abbey being a PR move. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think Caesar wants to look at some of these players to say, are they squad options this season? I think they're being auditioned. And let's be honest, pre-season's the time to do that. You don't want to be bringing them on in the middle of a Black Country derby or anything like that. You want to get some feel for them first. I think we saw it with Chouameni and Chirua. They had their audition, and in my opinion, they both fell short. Yeah. And I think that's the reality here. I think Caesar's trying to get a feel for his squad and who he can rely upon and who he can trust. And I think part of that is trying some of these players to see whether they're going to be up to the standard or not.
What do you think to the balance of Totti being the right centre half and Ziga left?
It's an interesting one. They started the game the opposite way, but they've switched early. It's an interesting one. I actually think us dropping to the Championship probably suits Ziga, to be honest. I think there's probably... I think you look at it, I think it's... if you look at the Scottish Premier League, it's probably of a similar level, probably similar levels of physicality as we've just seen Traore get muscled off the ball. And I think that season in the league probably prepares him quite well for the Championship.
Rodrigo Garma's great touch. Oh,
I think
unlucky Wolves corner.
I think he could be a big player for us. I mean, I've always been a big fan of his, and I'm a self-confessed fan of his. And I think particularly in this where he's playing in front of a fullback. I think this could be a really important player and season for him.
Who was it with the switch to Rodrigo Gomez? Then was it Totti again, or
I didn't catch that one.
I don't know.
It was a lovely pass wherever it was. Tommy Doyle out swinging corner for 15 minutes gone, cleared and fell to Doncaster Rovers.
So
15 minutes gone, Wolves 0, Doncaster Rovers 0.
So Dan, Luke has posed a question in the chat, which I think you and Tyler should have a go at.
Who was the shitter 6'6" plus striker for Wolves, Tolu or Stefan Meyerhofer? Were you even born when Meyerhofer played, Tyler?
Probably not. Probably not. But I don't know, because I made a joke about Tolu, saying that honestly, when we had an attacking corner, I honestly think for however tall he is, he's the worst attacker I've ever seen. He defends the ball. He honestly, I've got a video on my phone somewhere. The ball's come across, and instead of heading it towards the opposition goal, he heads it away from him. And honestly,
I think we joked about it at one point that Tolu might have been better as a centre half. Tommy Doty, corner again for Wolves. Yeah, as much as it's not really on brand for today's departure of Tolu, Meyerhofer was a hell of a lot worse than Tolu.
But you could also look at, we spent probably $2 million on Stefan Meyerhofer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking pound for pound, then yeah, Tolu's head and shoulders clear and worse. But we had that conversation earlier in the WhatsApp group, didn't we? That Tolu's goal pound ratio was £8 million per goal.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm still haunted by players like Thomas Frankowski, to be honest. So, and I appreciate he was only $1.5 million, but mate, I seen him run through on goal and put it 15 yards wide. He only had the keeper to beat. So I've seen. I mean, we talked about loan players. I think one for the chat is who's would you say has been Wolves' best ever loan signing since you've been watching, and then who's been our worst loan signing? I think that's one for the chat. And one for yourself as well.
I'd say probably, I mean, this is well before Tyler's era, but I still think Darren Peacock's the worst signing, whether it's transfer or loan, in the history of the club. Not necessarily pound for pound, but I think he played like 1 or 2 games. He gave away a penalty against West Brom, ended up getting injured in the same phase of play, never played for us again. I think Lee Hughes has gone something like 7 or 8 games without scoring against Wolves, and Darren Peacock gave the penalty, and then he went on a bit of a run after that. So yeah, Darren Peacock for me. I think in regards to good loan signings, so I think you've got to go with Jota, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd go with Jota for the good one. And Mitch Davis has said in the chat, Vallejo worst loan signing. I would go with someone like Vallejo. I've got his shirt somewhere from a game, and I said to the person when I got it, he can't be match one because I don't even know how many matches he played.
Yeah. Did he play in the Punic game?
He might. I don't even know. Honestly, the guy was saying to me, "It's match 1." I was like, "He can't be. He can't." Bro just disappeared.
Yeah. What are you saying, Greg? What's yours?
I like what Dale's put Grant Holt. I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
I think he was just. I mean, geez, he was just massively unfit. I think for me, I'm going to pick different. I mean, Jota's the obvious one, so I'm going to try and avoid that.
Let me stop you there for a quick second, because 10 years ago today we did sign Helder Costa on loan.
Helder was, yeah. I mean, if I go a bit further back, just for the older ones in the group, I think there was 2 that stand out for me. I think Mancien is one, and I mentioned him earlier. And then, no, not quite. And then the other one and this is going back to the 90s, so this is definitely too early for you, Tyler. So we brought in Whittingham as a striker who scored a load of goals for us. Who was a really good player. And I've just completely forgot his name.
Super guy, the soldier.
Yeah, I mean, he was a quality striker. He was a proper bagsman. And
this is a different era to you, Tyler. You actually had like footballers back in the day that was in the army and then became a professional footballer. Yeah. Somehow ended up at Wolves and scoring goals for fun. Took the number 9 off the ball for a little while.
And then there's one, Mark Walters. He used to play for Liverpool. He was a winger. And it was one of the best goals I've ever seen at Molineux, where he won 5-0. He kind of was playing on the right wing, playing on the right side, left-footed, which is unusual back in those days. And he cut inside and bent it into the corner. He was an unbelievable footballer. I mean, you don't play for Liverpool in the 90s without being a decent
Oldman 13, bringing up the long signing of Vitinha.
Vitinha. Vitinha was the right player, wrong time for me.
Yeah.
No, if you look at the players we had in midfield, then you had, Neves, you had Matinho, you had players like that. It was always going to be a tough one for him to slide in there. I just think it was one of them right player, wrong time.
Dale Sheaves come with a great one. Emmanuel Frimpong. 4 or 5 games that he had on loan.
5 games of cult hero status.
Until the moment that he got injured, he was absolutely outstanding. I think we got a result away at Tottenham where he booted the ball in Van der Vaart's face. I think the first half against Aston Villa when we lost 3-2, it was one of the best midfield performances I've seen for a good few years that day. And just typical Wolves, he ended up doing his cruciate ligaments.
That was such a funny thing because he was one of them players then that was then perennially linked, afterwards. That's a great touch. He was one of them players.
Come on.
There was one of them players that we, every transfer window we got linked with again.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's the one against Southend. Yeah. Unbelievable strike it was.
R1 finish on FIFA for the FIFA people out there.
Beautiful finish.
It was like strong FIFA AI as well. Like the amount of whip and curl. It was like about a foot and a half away from the post before it hit him. We absolutely tore Southend apart that night. Steve Froggatt was like 99 pace, 99 acceleration that night.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. That was also the day when we had a fit Steve Froggatt and we were just, honestly, the pace and width and that. I think that's what you also need in the Championship.
If we would have had Froggatt and Daly fit for that season, we would have won that league.
Yeah, quite possibly. And Tony
22 minutes gone. Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. Chance for Tommy Edozie in the early moments. We've had a couple of passages of play where Rodrigo Gomez has got to the byline and we've ended up getting corners. But apart from that, Edozie chance, we've not really worked the keeper. And apart from crosses, Bentley hasn't really had much to do either, has he?
No. Definitely got pre-season vibes to it. The stadium's pretty empty.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Wolves end's not too bad. Fair play to all those Wolves fans that have made their way up there tonight. The Wolves end looks pretty full. But you've got then up from there, you've got just big whole banks of empty seats, And, I think that probably contributes to it. And
did you take any consolation from the fact that Sociedad beat Aston Villa 4-2 last night?
I'm not bothered about that, to be honest, mate. I'm not interested in, No,
I agree with that. I think that my tantrum was based on maybe me underestimating Sociedad and the team that we put out compared to what Villa did.
Yeah, I mean, they're no mugs. Listen, Sociedad are no mugs. And they won a cup last season, right? Which is no, mean feat in that league, yeah? Okay, it's not at the same level as the Premier League, but it ain't, it's better than the Belgian league, for example, that we were talking about earlier. So, you've got players, there that are of a good standard, they're playing for international teams and stuff like that. So, for me, that's, you've got to look at that and go, they're not mugs. And if they're going to turn up and play, they'll give us a game. And, part of what we've got to do is kind of reset ourselves in terms of the level we're at. We are now a second division championship team, and they are, ultimately above us in the pecking order at the moment, regardless of the fact that we've spent infinitely more than they have on transfer fees historically, and our wage bill's probably bigger than theirs, even in the Championship. Oh, Defoe's gone for Coitley. Yeah.
I mean, with Doherty, Coitley's up there with one of the best pound for pounds ever, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's that energy of wide. We love a good wide player that can get the ball, run at players, create chances, and he certainly did it with him and Jarvis. You know, different class in that, particularly in the championship that season. They were unbelievable.
Armstrong, Doyle, Rodrigo Gomez is going to get to go 1-on-1.
See, Jackson needs to be further up the pit field there. Look, he's only just coming up. He should be, when the ball's going wide there, he should be coming to either offer an option to set back or he should be offering an overlap.
I think the starting position of our fullbacks at the moment is probably a bit too deep to really impact.
But that's where we're going to get the chances. That's where we're going to move things forward. Particularly when you've got a screener. So you've got Abbey that's sitting in front of them. So you've got that triangle that sits there. So that should free up players in position to move further forward. Yeah, Doyle's definitely playing in like a 10. If you look at the two, you've got, you know, if you look at him now, you've got Boubacar, you know, who's just ahead of Abbey, but then Doyle's a good 10, 12 yards ahead of both of those guys.
25 minutes gone, Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. Anyone standing out so far for you, Tyler?
I think Rodrigo again. He's trying, and again, it's a pacey winger, isn't it? It's something, as you said, we love. Other than that, not really, to be honest. I do like some of the bits of play that we're doing, but again, like we've already said, pre-season feel to it feels quite slow. You know, like on mine, we're just attacking down the left, and there's been a foul. There's no one really standing out. I'm a bit worried about Armstrong, if I'm honest. But I know obviously we're only in pre-season. But look, I know everyone says he did this for Southampton and that, but he has also had stints where he hasn't done anything in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Wemmis 1966 in the comment section talking about the possibility of, well, not necessarily the possibility, but would you guys be interested in Adama Traore returning as a free agent? Not for me personally. I think his better days are behind him. He's not really a winger that's known for his pressing ability. Obviously, he's an entertainer. It gets you up off his seat, but I don't really think it's a possibility with the wages that I think he'll be looking at in the twilight of his career.
Well, for me, I think Rodrigo's a better option because you wouldn't put him on the left, so he's got to play on the right, which means you're taking Rodrigo out. And I think he's been our best player so far in this first half, and you're going to take him out. And let's also be honest, the way he left Wolves is very different to the way Raul left Wolves. You know, I think, you know, Traore was angling for a move. He had the whole Barcelona loan and stuff like that, so he was quite keen to get out. So I don't think that he has the same affection for Wolves that Raul does or a lot of the other players, to be honest. So I wouldn't be bringing him. I wouldn't be rushing to bring him back in, to be honest.
Tyler, Adama?
No, I wouldn't have him neither. I think he's lost a lot of what he did have, and again, like we've said, Rodrigo's a lot better for me than Adama could be in the Championship at all, to be honest.
I also think his wages will be significant as well.
Yeah.
No, I think that's part of the other thing is that I think he will still want top Championship money, and it's like, what do you want to spend? You know, okay, he's on a free, so I'm going to pay that, but there's still going to be a signing on fee. There'll still be an agent fee. There's still going to be him wanting 30 grand a week or something. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, are you going to get that value for money? And I think there's the money that money could be better spent elsewhere, even if that was a loan player on loan wages and stuff like that, or a loan fee.
I don't want to give the club like excuses financially, but if it was my recruitment and there was only a certain budget, Adama wouldn't be high on my list.
I just don't see it for me. I think there's a bit of nostalgia in there, if I'm honest. I think if you look at it on its merits, I mean, he hasn't played that. I mean, West Ham bought him, didn't really play that much under Nuno at West Ham. So you'd be buying him. If you were buying him, you're buying him as an impact player for the last 10 minutes. I think that that would be too much of a luxury and too much of a cost for that return.
As you can tell by the conversation fillers at the moment, there isn't a great deal. Wolves are controlling the possession. It's mostly going back to our defenders, and Giga and Totti are finding our fullbacks, but then more often than not, it's coming back to Giga and Totti. Adozie and Hugo Bueno trying to build up here on the left. Goes into Armstrong, will try and get a shot away. No, he won't. He'll go back to Adozie. Cuts in. Gets a shot away, blocks, and then it's going to be recycled by Boubacar Traoré to Jerome Abbey. Adam Armstrong, Doyle. It's going to go out to Hugo Bueno. It's Adozie, actually, sorry. Crossing goes to Boubacar Traoré. He's going to go wide. Oh, it's not. Oh, Boubacar Traoré just had a shot from distance and he's ricocheted off Rodrigo Gomez and Doncaster clear yet again. Frustrating. It looks like we are trying, but it's just like similar to the game against Maidenhead and Sociedad. There's no real quality in the final third from Wolves yet.
Question dropped in the chat, guys, from Ben. Thanks, Ben, for your question. What do you think is the top priority position we need to sign? Good question. I would go with North Street on this, and I'd say goalkeeper.
Totally agree. Goalkeeper.
I think we need.
Yeah, I think goalkeeper's the main one purely because we're reliant on Raul getting goals, even with this team that we've got today. I still think we need a couple more wide players with Saeed getting injured, but I think with the fact that we're going to have a lot more possession this season, I think you need someone a bit more reliable with his hands and who can be a bit more proactive with his distribution than Bentley.
I think we all know that the goalkeeping setup isn't what we need. I think a lot of the other positions we can kind of make do and move forward, but I think a good solid goalkeeper sets the tone, starts the foundations for the team, and I think that's where I would be looking to invest first. I think there are a few other positions that aren't too far behind, but I certainly think goalkeeper is one we should be looking at as the first option.
Yeah,
definitely. Just cleared the half an hour mark, and I think there's been a lot of possession. There's been a lot of to and fro, and I think we've tried to. I think there's been a lot of 1-2s at the edge of the box, but the reality is that Doncaster are dropping into a kind of a 2 banks of 4, and we just aren't getting through that, which I think is why we need to go wide. But obviously, then we don't have that physical presence in the box at the moment.
Maximus Wright saying we were rumoured with the Swedish international Zetterström from Derby. My sources tell me that Zetterström is not in the goalkeepers that we're looking at.
Yeah,
there's a prolific tweeter at the moment on X who's talking a very good game, but not one player that he's mentioned we have any interest in, as far as I'm concerned, with my sources.
I think the club knows that we need to sort the goalkeeping position out. I think that's where somewhere we'll hopefully be able to get someone in quite quickly. Backup striker to support Raul would be good. Sorry, I'm just reading Ben's comment about backup striker to Raul. I think that's fair. I would just love to have a fit Sasa Kalajic for a season. I think there's enough of a player in there in the Championship to get through it. You just wonder if his knees are going to explode again.
Similar to Matt Murray, I think he's not necessarily as top heavy as Matt Murray. But when you're having to jump and land on those knees regularly, it's a tough to handle. He
got a decent run of games towards the end of the season. The problem is we can loan him back out again. We're not going to get any money back really at the levels we are that we paid for him. But I would like to see him. I think he's a nice guy. Okay, fair enough. Go to the pub instead of having him on the pitch. But I think he's a player who deserves some success. I think he's a player who you can see wants to play for the club, wants to be here, wants to contribute. He's turned up regularly. when he was injured, before he got loaned out. He was there on Saturday. You know, I'd like for him to be there, and I think he could definitely be an option, particularly if you've got someone like Trippier and you've got a 6'7" striker. Kind of feels like an option, particularly, you know, in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Angry Boardman saying Tommy Doyle has been everywhere without actually doing anything. I think it's a fair comment, but like I said earlier in the game, it feels like he's just a makeshift player filling a gap until we get a player out that's more.
The problem you've got, though, is if you look at the look now, right, and I appreciate some of you aren't watching the stream, we're not aggressively pressing right now. So right now we're dropping back and we're in what I'd say is probably a mid-block here. You know, and Doyle's pressing, but he's pressing on his own, which is not going to work. You know, and he's just waving now to Armstrong and to push further up. So I think that's contributing to the running around like a headless chicken without doing anything, because he's trying to do a press, but a one-man press isn't going to work. You know, these guys are in League One. It's not going to work. Jordan James, I think he's going off. Where's he going? Fulham, is it?
Fulham, apparently. I don't believe there was ever any. I think there was more interest from the fan base than Wolves. It doesn't seem sensible enough for Wolves to go with James Jordan, does it? And
I think definitely in the Premier League, there's plenty of players that will pick him up as a squad option and see if he can develop forward. I just don't think he was going to come back into the Championship having done that.
Looking at the bench there, Tyler obviously got two goalkeepers, Brooks and Gracie. Got Kieran Trippier, Manetzi, Andre, Yursa Mosquera, Pedro Lima, Tuana Chirera for Lopez. Ladislav Krejci's on the bench today, Saeed Olagunju, Ethan Sutherland, and Conor McLeod. Just give me three off that bench you'd like to see come on at half time.
To be fair, I'd like to see Andre come on. I think he could probably help us break these down a bit with some of the balls he does. Again, with balls, Trippier, I'd have on getting the crosses in. And then I would say Krejci, just because I want to see him played in a midfield role more than a back role, if you know what I mean. Just, you know, give him a try there. That's because I think he played there a bit for the Czech Republic, and you know, we know he can score a header as well, so just let him run and get Trippier to give it across.
That's it. Got free kick to Wolves, 25 yards out, left side of goal. Tommy Doyle and I believe Hugo Bueno are around it. Tommy Doyle looks like he's about to thrash one in. Can't remember who just said Tommy Doyle's done nothing. It's a big chance for him to stake a claim with an effort. It's a nice range to get the ball up and over the wall.
Yeah, it's the right side of the goal for Doyle. It's a pretty good distance. You'd probably position that yourself, wouldn't you, if you tried?
Well wide in the end. Got the ball over the wall, but the keeper comfortably let it sail wide of his post.
I think he's took a nick, hasn't he? He took a quick little... Yeah, he took a little nick in front of the ball.
Slightest nick corner for Wolves. Another Tommy Doyle in swinger. Ball comes in. We've got to try and get a nick on it. We're cleared.
And there is some height in there, you know, if you're looking with Totti and, you know, Giga, you know, there's some enough physical presence in there.
Yeah, Doncaster Rovers player's gone down with a bit of a head injury, so 39 minutes gone so far, and Doncaster 0, Wolves 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a warm evening, but, you know, I think there's just a lack of, for me, to really start to open this out, we need to get a bit more intensity into the game. We need to move the ball a lot faster than we have been. You know, Doncaster are taking a more defensive approach, which is fine. That's their prerogative. I think we need to move the ball a lot quicker as we cut to all the subs doing a mass warm-up on the sidelines.
Who's your three to come on at half-time, Greg?
I would be looking to bring on Fair Lopez. I think this is an ideal game. Who for?
Yeah, Tommy Doyle.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I might, yeah, because didn't Tommy play the whole game on Saturday? think he may have done the full duration. So I'd probably let him come out. I would then look. I'm just looking at who hasn't really played much and give them minutes. I'd probably bring on. Oh my! What's his name? The centre half. I could.
Olagunjo.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I think I'd give him. I was quite impressed with him, so I'd probably let him have a run, either for Jigger or Totti. Not really fussed which one, to be honest, and give him a run. And then I'd probably just let one of the younger players have another run out. Maybe Sutherland again on the left side.
Yeah,
Let him have a run. I think that would be mine, because again, like I said, for me, a lot of this is going to be looking at like, can we rely on give these guys some minutes in the Championship next season? You know, players like Sutherland. The only way we're going to know is to give them game time. You know, here.
Yeah. Tom Adowsey just give a free kick away to Doncaster about 45 yards out on the right. So just a few minutes before half time, you expect the ball to be lumped into the box here. I saw a few people talking about it's frustrating that we're struggling against the Doncaster side. I think we've struggled to break them down. I don't think we've necessarily struggled.
I mean, they're not. Listen, it's not a fifth. You know, we're in control of the game at the moment. We just haven't created, apart from the early chance, we just haven't created those opportunities. And I think that's where the frustration is, and I think that's the problem we're seeing at the moment is we don't really seem to have that cutting edge at the moment.
Yeah. Free kick comes in. Oh, that's sloppy defending, but Wall's right.
Maximus has talked about Enzo Gonzalez, and I think I would have liked to have seen him. I saw him on a couple of the behind-the-scenes videos. I think he would have been interested to see where he's at the moment and got some time, but obviously he's not in a position to do that.
Thanks, 123 North Street, saying lads on tonight giving up their time for this. Thank you. Not just our free time. We've actually paid to watch this.
We have. This is very true.
Putting money in Fosun's pocket like idiots.
Yeah, it's also good to see so many of you guys. You know, we've been quiet over the summer, and now, you know, all of you guys have joined us tonight, giving us your feedback, giving us your thoughts. You know, and that's part of it. You know, we are all together in this. You know, and happy to, you know, get everyone's feedback and thoughts as well. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us.
I hate to do the cringy YouTube thing, but please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.
We've got other channels we need to try and catch up on. And we need your support to do that. So I saw a few people talking about other channels in not a positive light. Get beyond us as a channel, and we really appreciate your support.
Thank you for the guys still commenting about the loan signings. So yeah, thank you, Greg Hickman, for yours on Frankowski. You know, and
final piece of the jigsaw, but we didn't have all the other jigsaw pieces, did we?
Yeah, it's good to have good to get your feedback and thoughts in on this, guys. Yeah. We've got a long old season coming in the Championship. You know, we're starting next Friday. We've put Val in the Carabao Cup, and then straight into the season.
I think, based on the last few minutes and the first half so far, I don't think Hugo Brenner's had a great game.
No.
Doncaster have a chance to put the ball in the box here, and it goes through to Dan Bentley.
That's it, yeah.
We do get bodies quickly behind the ball. I think, like I said, just Doncaster haven't really never felt under pressure apart from balls into the box from set pieces we've given away. We've dominated possession quite well, but yeah, lacking quality in the final third, which I think Raul will help massively with his hold-up play. Totti's just kicked the ball out for another throw-in, trying to find a dome.
Is that an injury or is that just shit? Sorry, I thought how bad it was. I thought it was someone had come down with a knock.
Totti's carrying that permanent.
No, it's just shit. Sorry. It looked that, you know, when it's such a blatantly bad pass, you go, he's just kicked it out because someone's picked up a knock or something. Yeah. But actually, that isn't the case.
It was one of his classic passes to Ryan Aït-Nouri that put Aït-Nouri under trouble all the time. Chance for Doncaster. Rodrigo Gomez will have a lot of grass to run into. A good tackle by the Doncaster player.
Yeah, he's got good legs, that number 8. He's got back because Rodrigo ain't a slouch.
Chance against Doncaster. Wall's getting bodies behind the ball. Just realised it's sponsored by KFC, isn't it?
Are they?
Is it KFC?
I don't know.
I could have sworn it was KFC on the back of their shorts.
I think I said on the last watch along, I did enjoy when we were sponsored by Doritos because they used to fire crisps into the stand and all sorts.
I'm sure they've all got KFC on the back of their shorts.
Oh, is it on the back on the shorts? I was trying to look at the top. Yeah, you might be right there, mate. On the back. Yeah, they have. Yep. Yes, they are.
Just realised that Jerome Abbey hasn't got the betting sponsor shirt, has he?
Greasy chicken on their arse.
Half time, Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. Thanks for joining us on the Wolves Fancast so far. Let us know your thoughts on the half so far.
Yep.
As we mentioned, we've struggled to break Doncaster down, apart from the one chance that Tommy Dozy had, which the keeper made a good save. Dominated possession without really causing them too many problems. Your thoughts, Greg?
I think you've explained it quite really well there, summarised it, Dan. You know, there's been a lot of possession, a lot of things in there, but we just haven't got the energy and that cutting edge up front to really get through them and get the goals that probably the balance of play deserve.
Your thoughts, Tyler, on the first half?
As I said, Tomadozi's shot was the only real big thing we've had. I think it's looked a bit slow, and I think Cesar's going to make some changes at half time. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes quite a few off and like brings on the bench, you know, like he did. I think he did it in that first preseason game, like that was behind closed doors. He just changed it all around.
Yeah. You look at the players that are still due to come on this second half: Kieran Trippier, Manetzi, Andre. You'd expect those three to play against Port Vale the way it's set up, unless we bring in a midfielder instead of Manetzi. Yeah.
So moving into half time, obviously all the players have disappeared off and all the fans have gone for probably a well-deserved beer to numb the pain of that. Which, with the exception of Albion and Blues, for obvious reasons, which away game, gents, and in the chat, are you most looking forward to next season? It might be a ground that you've been to many a time over the years and you haven't been for a while and you're going back to, or it might be a new ground. People might say Lincoln in the chat that they've not done before. So I'm going to go with yourself, Dan, first. Obviously, ignore the Albion and the Blues because they're a bit too obvious. Is there a ground that you are looking forward to potentially going to this season? And if so, why? Is there an away game you're looking forward
to? Similar to Noodles Romanoff on YouTube. I think Lincoln's the standout one for me, purely because I've not been to Lincoln before. I can't even say I've been to Lincoln in my life. Never mind to their stadium.
Yeah.
Wrexham's another good one. Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say Wrexham. For me, it'd be Wrexham. And Lincoln, obviously Lincoln's new, and then Wrexham. I haven't been to neither. Quite looking forward to that, to be fair. I mostly just want to go to one of the Disney cameras and just shout abuse. You know, get in a documentary, why not? Might as well.
So we've got North's gone for Derby, which isn't that far. Another one for Wrexham there from Martin. Evie's gone for Millwall. Jesus.
That's a good shout, Millwall. Yeah, jeez.
I've not got good memories of Millwall, to be honest. I went on that dreaded Friday night when we lost to a Steve Claridge penalty, which pretty much ruined our promotion hopes.
Yeah. Angry's cheating and gone for Wembley in the cup. That's
Love
cheating.
It. Love it.
But I'll go with it.
Are we in the Papa John's?
No, I don't think. Are we?
The under 21's not in it.
No, I don't know if they do. I don't know if it drops down to us. It might be, yeah. Millwall. We need to reinstate the Anglo-Italian Cup, Dan. Yeah. That's what we need to do. Yeah, there's another one.
Atlanta and Lecce on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's it. Got another vote there for Millwall.
Are you aware of the Anglo-Italian Cup? So basically, in the 90s, there was a tournament that was every year where just mid-table championship sides would play random Italian sides. So Wolves would play like Lecce or Atalanta or I can't think who the others was. Like Perugia and like some proper random Italian
Reggiana. Yeah.
Great times. I mean, like like Port Vale versus like Atalanta just got.
On a Tuesday night.
Oh no, but they do need to bring that back. Well, I say they need to bring it back. We've got enough matches on it. It
was just a random one. Absolutely random.
Clive Smudger-Smith saying he's looking forward to Bolton away without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean that one again holds a lot of memories, particularly for those supporting Wolves in the 90s, and you got the playoff games and stuff, Bolton games, John McGinley, those were real scrappy games. Leicester was another one. I mean, obviously they've dropped down to League One, so aren't really part of this, but you had Steve Ball and that, he'd always get sent off at Filbert Street. It was always some real proper games going on there. And
just did a quick AI search on Wolves in the Anglo-Italian Cup, because someone mentioned we played in the 70s as well. Wolves' most notable campaign was the inaugural 1970 tournament, where they faced Fiorentina and Lazio, securing a famous 3-1 win away against Fiorentina.
Yeah. I mean, they had some players back in the day. I mean, they've dropped off now, but they had some real players, if you remember Gabriel Batistuta. Sorry, Tyler, we're just having a conversation here that completely predates you. So I apologise. But yeah, they had some proper ballers.
I think they had like Rui Costa as well.
Rui Costa was another one.
Football Italia on a Saturday morning was iconic back in the day.
Yeah. So Angry's asking about the Intertoto Cup. So the Intertoto Cup was there. It was real. And what it used to do, it was a kind of a pre-season tournament for people lower in the leagues. And if you won it, you got granted a European place, if my memory serves me correct. Rui Costa, proper footballer player.
There's a few proper old school Wolves heads in the comment section. I see Martin Lever saying, remember seeing Wolves beat Juventus 1-2-3 North Street saying the Watney Cup. I mean, Tyler, don't worry. I don't even know what the Watney Cup is.
Yeah, but the older ones have taken over the chat today. We're going down, we're reminiscing. We're going down an old path here today while we wait for Wolves to re-emerge for the second half. Just good to get some of these old names out, some of these old competitions and some other things as well out in there. Listen up, one of the best days I ever had was down at the old Wembley for the Sherpa Van Trophy final. I wasn't that old, I hasten to add, but yeah, I was down there for that day, and that was unbelievable. Watching all the Wolves fans going down on the coaches all the way down to Wembley was brilliant. Yes, Maximus, and hopefully we might win some games this season. Who knows?
I'm starting to think since COVID, Wolves winning games is like a blur, a mirage.
Evie, I appreciate that you've got absolute at 18. Yeah, you have no idea. My son's 16. He would be completely lost right now.
Yeah,
just go with it. Just go with it. It's a Wolves history lesson for you on a Wednesday night.
Texaco Cup, the Rumbelows Cup. We even played Everton in I think it was the Centenary Cup at Wembley, didn't we?
Yeah. I also remember before one of the cup finals, they used to have the Rumbelows, the 100 meters. They'd get all the fastest players in the league, and they'd do like a 100-meter sprint down the side of Wembley Stadium to see who was the fastest. And there was a guy called John Williams, I think he was at Coventry, a striker, and he used to be a postman, and I think he won it. He did it in like 10 point something seconds or 11. It was rapid. Yeah,
Shawshank Redemption with the massive cup for the most recent fans, the Euro Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Maximus Wright bringing up Mark Kennedy in that playoff final. The Kierall goal, talking about the Anglo-Scottish Cup.
Anglo-Scottish Cup, jeez. Yep. Yeah. It could bring a lot of that back.
What's some of your favourite away days, Tyler?
I liked West Brom, obviously, FA Cup, but I think that's an obvious one, you know what I mean, for the atmosphere. I'm trying to think now. I liked Bournemouth, but that's only because I went with Tatters and I was watching some guy just scrap his mate in the park. I was sat there just recording him. I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's just fighting his mate. I was like, "Come on, man. No worries, mate."
Yeah. So what did you say you got? So what did you say you were going for, gents? I've completely forgot now. I got distracted by the chat. I think you said Wrexham, didn't you, Tyler?
Yeah, Wrexham, and then I said Millwall was a good shout.
Yeah. So what about you, Dan?
Yeah, I said Lincoln purely because I've not been there before.
Oh yes.
It's a shame. I think Sheffield United's been moved to a Sunday kickoff, hasn't it? I do tend to like going to Sheffield because it's a good night out. Sheffield is. Yeah, the one I'm not really looking forward to going to. QPR midweek, West Ham midweek. Yeah, I've still never been to Portsmouth, so I might try and do that this year, depending on when it lands.
Portsmouth's not a bad day out, particularly if you go around by the where the quay is around there. It's very nice. It's a decent. The ground's old and rickety, but Portsmouth itself isn't too bad if you stick to the touristy areas.
Kirkwalls with the Reading away 2002 playoff semi. That was a good one. That one.
Yeah, no, I quite like as a ground to visit. I quite like Wigan because you get a good away end. The beer and the food's normally pretty cheap, and it's not too far to go. So I've enjoyed going to Wigan a few times. There was obviously the one there with Keogh, so that one I've enjoyed. Obviously they're not an option, but yeah, I think there's a few we can certainly. Derby's not too bad. It's a decent ground, easy enough to get to. Should be a decent game there.
123 North Street commenting saying, I may be around the bend, but this time next year, Folsom will be gone. I mean, I reckon there's more chance of me growing there than Folsom going in the next year. Purely on the basis that if we get promoted, they're not going to sell us while we're in the Premier League. If we don't get promoted, they've got another year's worth of parachute payments where they haven't got to dip their hands in the pockets. I think it's massively frustrating. And in hindsight, we should have kept on with the protest, but we naively believed that Jeff Shee was such a dictator and was controlling everything that with a fresh pair of hands with Nathan Shee, things might change, but it doesn't seem to be going that way. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think I'm concerned with the landscape of where Wolves are heading because, like I just said, I think if Folsom get us promoted this season, do they default in 17th and above? And if we don't get promoted, is it 2 more years of trying to get promoted on the back of parachute payments and no real investment? And then, God forbid, if we don't get promoted after those 2 seasons, where they take us as owners?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think there's a
123 North Street is every single episode is convinced that I'm going to be shagging Taylor Swift. She keeps DMing me. I said no.
I'm not saying anything. I'm going to be good. I'm not going to take the piss. Yeah, because as you know, Taylor Swift's quite tall, Dan. So I was going to.
We're all the same lying down, Greg.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Good riposte, my friend. Good riposte.
I've been turned down by a lot worse than Taylor Swift, I'll tell you that.
Oh, and that's in Wolverhampton as well. I mean, crikey. So, yeah. You can tell, guys, this is a long half time. This is a long half time, guys. You can tell the conversation's going in weird and wonderful directions right now.
You can see on the screen now that Wolves haven't got any players out actually with a ball at the moment.
I think they're going to do a traditional hour switch on the hour mark or phase in from around the hour mark. I think he wants to try and play this forward. I could be wrong, but like you say, the complete lack of warm up on that side of the pitch seems to be quite telling. Yeah, Dan, I don't know if you're posting that in satire or not, but Tolu has left the club today. He's gone to Ajax for the season. So
yeah, that's Dan from the company that I work for. He wouldn't have seen that Tolu's left today because he spends all his day at the vending machine.
Oh.
123 North Street. Jonathan Hayward's wife had great legs. I'll have to take your word for it. I'll have to take your word for it.
Can we get a year check on that or a date check? Because if it was recent, that feels a bit wrong. Hopefully you're referring to when he was in charge, in the club in the 90s, which is obviously 30 odd years ago now.
Let's get serious for half a minute. In September, Wolves Fancast are taking part in the 2026 Content Creators Cup, where we are fundraising for the Wolves Foundation, which is the club's official charity. The Wolves Foundation is a separate entity to Wolves Football Club, so they need our support and your support as much as you can. The fundraising link is available in the ticker at the bottom of the screen, which is, I think, justgiving.com/Content Creators Cup 2026. It would be really, really grateful if you can help support the charity event, which is on September the 26th, which is the international weekend. Hopefully, the weekend after we beat the Albion, we'll be putting a team in. There'll be a Wolves media team, a Wolves Foundation team, and then all your other favourite Wolves social media channels. Always Wolves, the Wolves Report, Old Gold Pack, the 77 Club, and a wild card entry based just near the M6 Walsall Fan TV.
So just looking at the teams for the second half, doesn't look like, it's hard to tell at the moment, doesn't look like there's any changes at the moment. There's a player on the side there. I don't think that's a sub. I think that's just someone who's just been doing a bit of extra stretches. Yeah. So I think we are as we were for the end of the first half going into the second half.
It's a great point by Danny Paletti. If the commentator was asking Andy Thompson about his chances with Taylor Swift, he may have put Wolves into the TV instead.
Yeah.
What's the score, Mark? It's currently Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. Apart from a chance from Tommy Dozy where the keeper made a good strong hand for a corner, Wolves have dominated possession without really carving Doncaster open. Expected to be quite a lot of substitutions at half-time. Once we have a clear picture of who's coming on for who, we'll let you know. But thanks again for tuning in on the Wolves Fancast YouTube channel, and those who are tuning in on X, Facebook, MySpace, Bebo, Babe Station, wherever you follow us.
Babe Station. Don't start with that. We're going downhill fast here.
Flash the badge.
Yeah, but we are. Yeah. Oh, no, we have got change there. I can see Trippier's on.
Yeah. Kieran Trippier wearing the captain's armband, which would suggest that Totti's come off.
I don't know who will have dropped in at centre. Please don't tell me Jackson's playing centre half, because that's going to be.
Oh, Fur's on as well.
Yeah,
And Chirera.
Okay, Evie, you'll have to get in touch with Always Wolves or Dazzling Dave. I think he's the main point of contact for the charity event.
Yeah.
So we've got.
Yeah, she does some great photos, to be fair.
Yeah, feel free to put yourself forward though. We're always good to get people to come along and support. So please don't hesitate to drop a note out. And be more than happy to get that support. Particularly if you do that. Yeah.
Liam Keen's put out a tweet about the second half 11. Bentley, Trippier, Mosquera, Cresci, Sutherland, Andre, Minezzi, Lima, Lopez, McLeod, and Chirera. So it's quite a full change, really, isn't it?
Yeah, apart from the goalie, yeah.
You've got Twana Chirera's through the middle. You've got, you say Conor McLeod?
Yeah.
Yeah, Conor McLeod's left wing by the looks of it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Marshall Minezzi. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see. So he's gone for the Sociedad approach of a first half team and a second half team. So let's see how we settle in into this. I think I prefer this centre half partnership, if I'm honest, compared to the one in the first half. Not so convinced by our striker right now. So let's see how that plays. Good opportunity for Ethan Sutherland as well. I do think we'll end up shifting on one of the fullbacks, unfortunately. So to have him as a backup could be a good option for us.
Yeah. Oh, Manetti's
Jesus.
put Bentley under trouble there.
Yeah.
Under trouble? In trouble?
In trouble. But we need Minetti up the other end as far as we can get away from the pitch at the moment, just because that is dangerous. Mark's asked, gents, what's our thoughts on this new manager?
Currently, I believe he's being set up to fail. I think he's definitely getting the team a lot sharper as we build up through the pre-season, but obviously we're really, really reliant on Jimenez tearing this division apart, and I'm still a bit skeptical on how much Mane and Rodrigo Gomez can impact this league. I expect them to do well, but enough for us to romp the league, I'm unsure.
Yeah, I think we're like you say, we need to see him bring his players in. At the moment, this is predominantly a squad that he's inherited, really. And so we need to see him bring in his players, or whether he can get these players to get a different tune out of him than Edwards did. That's a good turn, that is.
I'm quite undecided him as a manager, to be fair.
Torreira gets a shot away and Walls will get a
reality
corner.
He's an unknown, isn't he, Tyler?
Yeah.
He's an unknown variable, and we just don't know. He hasn't got the experience, and the CV that Nuno had.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be one of those. We'll have to wait and see.
Corner for Wolves, Trippier out, Swinger.
So this is where I think someone like Mosquera and
Mosquera gets his head on it. Ball comes out to Lima.
That's poor ball.
Found Trippier. Tommy's almost like for life and shoots. Oh, it's pathetic. Pathetic.
See what he was trying to do, just didn't hit it.
I think you've got to lace it there. He's gone for the inside of the
foot. He's tried to bend it, yeah. Is Sasa ignored? Apologies if it's been mentioned. I think he's still coming back into training. Obviously, he was out for World Cup duties and stuff, so I think he's just easing himself back in. He wasn't mentioned on the injury update, so I think he's just one of those players that we'll see start to filter in, potentially coming off the bench on Saturday.
Doncaster with a ball deep at the back post, which thankfully goes out under no pressure. Tyler, still with that in the comment section. How do you rate Jerome Abbey's performance out of 10 in that first half? For me, solid 7.
Yeah, I'd give him a 6. I think he didn't look out of place for how young he is. He didn't look out of place at all.
Even Sutherland has kicked the ball out for Doncaster corner under no pressure. I think he was laying it back to Krejci possibly, and it's gone straight out. Yeah, Krejci. Yeah. Welcome to the live show, Gav. How are you?
Evening, guys. How's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Doncaster.
Don't think I've missed much, have I?
Nothing.
Well, there was you've not, from a footballing perspective. No, we did manage to broach topics like Dan's chances of nailing Taylor Swift.
I actually came in at the end of that. And, the only thing I'd say is Dan should be a lucky lady, wouldn't she?
She would.
So footballing wise, yes, you're right. But the conversations have meandered to loan players, away grounds, and all sorts. We've been on a real journey today. I've probably alienated half of our fan base by talking about them earlier. But beyond that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, I heard you guys talking about the Edozie chance. I missed that. I think I came in on like the 35th minute. But it looks like there's made quite a lot of changes, haven't they? In the second half now.
Yeah.
It's a shame Jimenez and some of the World Cup boys, haven't featured really, to be honest.
I think for them, it's getting them into that training, getting them into that cycle.
Yeah.
I think it's getting through a few sessions as well with the team. You know, like Krejci's had some training sessions with them, had opportunities to do that. So
Yeah.
that's good too.
From what I'm told, it looks like Krejci won't be here come the end of the summer window, but it's getting the right transfer fee for him at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people were saying when Rob Edwards did that whole Q&A with Nathan Sheen stuff, I think apparently he turned around and said that Krejci's has to leave, hasn't he, more or less?
Yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah,
Well, if we get the
There's going to be someone in order to leave.
that's the problem, mate. It's all right. These players who don't want to play for Wolves in the Championship, we've still got to find the right values for them because you know we still have to make ends meet come the end of the day.
Krejci's stock will have gone up after the World Cup as well. Let's be honest. So, you know, we're not pressured. He's got plenty of time on a contract. He's not like he's out of contract in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope we're in a position like if let's say no one comes in and they don't offer anything acceptable, and he realizes he's here, that he just cracks on with it. You know what I mean? You don't want someone that the move hasn't happened and he's down tools and he's not. He's not making himself available.
I could be wrong, but it doesn't come across the
No.
To go down that route. I think there's enough there. I like the fact he's a ball playing left-footed centre half. I mean that's a good example there with the ball out wide.
I'd love to keep him. I think I think he'd be perfect. He's one of those centre backs that would be perfect for the Championship as well, wouldn't he?
I
Yeah.
mean, Kieran Trippier put a half decent ball in the box there, but it fell to Conor McLeod at the back post too. You know, he's not Jimenez height, is he? But we are starting to move the ball a bit quicker. Need a bit more from Menezes, Andre, and Chirera.
But what you've got to look at here, they're lining up. You've got two banks of four, and then one in front.
Yeah.
Of that,
Trippier and Sutherland are basically touching the touchline as our fullbacks.
Yeah. And that's where we've got to go, but we've got to do it at pace. At the end of the day, you know, against these teams, we need to move it faster and we need to use that width earlier.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to break teams down. Now, whether we're good enough to finish those chances is a different matter. But
well played, Andre. Brilliant.
Yeah, nice bit of footwork out there. Spreads the ball out to Trippier.
Oh, what a touch.
Wolves are pressing. It's gone a bit.
You want to see Fer Lopez get on the ball today, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he picks up the ball, it's like he's facing our own goal.
Yeah.
Oh, holding his foot.
Ethan Sutherland.
He's had a mare.
He's kicked the ball out for a corner. He's just let the ball roll under his foot for a throw in.
And you know, this is what I'm talking about. You know, this is his audition to be part of the squad to get minutes next season. And you know, these guys should be the ones. If you know, you can kind of not accept if Andre's kind of at half pace, but these guys should be absolute full throttle because this is their audition in front of a new manager, and he's not taking that opportunity at the moment.
Or Chirera to Trippier.
Was that further yet? Oh, Chirera's missed. Well, not missed. Saved by the keeper, isn't it?
That's great. It's great build-up play. See, that's what you want to see from Fer Lopez.
Chirera needs to react a bit quicker there for me.
Yeah. You could have played that across to Lopez, couldn't you?
Yeah, it was an easy passing for Lopez if he's just a bit quicker with the preempting of the move. For Lopez comes back again, shoot wide. Wolves are pressing. 55 minutes gone, 0-0.
I do think that, you know, with Fer Lopez, he's willing to take a strike on. You know, if he's in and around the edge of the box there, he's already had 2 attempts. You know, and I think we do need a bit of that. I'm not saying he should have a shoot on sight policy, but you know, I do think having someone who's prepared to take a shot, even if it spills back out or whatever. I think that's what you need in the team.
I think the best example of that from last season was the Andre goal against Liverpool. How many times has he been on the edge of the box? Everyone shouts shoot, and he doesn't do it. And then the one time he does, okay, he's taking a heavy deflection, but that's part and parcel of the game, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I mean, you saw that in the World Cup with Bellingham's goal, this second goal. They have a shot, he follows it up, and that's you need to be able to do that as well and mix it up. I'm going to try and walk it in every time. That was one of the options we always had with Netlox and Neves and Matinho. They were always likely to have a shot as well as playing a through ball or playing it across to the fullback or winger. They would take a strike on occasion as well.
I mean, it just adds like a bit of not uncertainty, but like unpredictability, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Last year with Andre and Gomez, if they got the ball in the edge of the box, their midfield were like, well, they're not going to shoot. They're only going to play it out wide. Let's just try and cut the passing lanes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Filled up nicely here, Pedro Lima. Back to Krejci, like I said, it's getting to our wider players, but then more often than not, it's just returning back to the centre halves.
The problem is you've got a full-back playing right winger now, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not Pedro Lima is not a right winger.
Yeah.
He's trying to play in that role, and that's okay. He's just covering a space for us, but he isn't going to be. At the moment, the evidence is he's playing more, get the ball played back rather than he's looking to beat a man or get an early crossing. Yes, so we're nearly on the hour mark. Not a lot, pretty similar style and flow of play to the first half. Wolves controlling possession and most of the territory, but without a real cutting edge. For Lopez looking the most likely at the moment with a strike from the edge of the box, but not much more beyond that.
Wolves are currently 5-4 with Sky Bet to win this game.
Oh, what, really? That's insane.
9-2 Doncaster.
Yeah, I think the bookies are what they're doing.
Referee, come on.
It's just whether we've got the cutting edge to actually get a goal here.
Yeah. Chance for Wolves to put a set piece in here after a foul on Ethan Sutherland, who would tore Sterry apart for a quick second. It's going to be a Kieran Trippier in swinger. Just over 58 minutes gone. Doncaster 0, Wolves 0.
I think that does look like our most likely route to goal at the moment is, a set piece, whether that's a free kick or a corner.
Wolves attacking the travelling supporters at the same end where Neil Collins scored a decisive goal back under Mick McCarthy.
Yeah.
Doncaster about to make 4 or 5 subs themselves.
Yeah. 5 there.
Trippier and for Lopez around it. I'd expect Trippier to in-swing it. Menezes front post.
Yeah, there's options at the back post.
Go straight into the keeper's hands.
Right.
Just not enough bodies in the box when the ball came in. Felt like the preparation just wasn't there. Ball should roll through to Bentley. Oh, and their player.
We've got a scrap going on now. Here we go. Oh.
Krejci's gone in on their striker who he had left a really late footing on Bentley there.
Bentley just sat on the floor. Yeah. Well,
I think Dan Bentley's poured water on that fire there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was there to be won for the striker, but
I don't know. Pre-season friendly, you're not really going for that, to be honest. You don't need to. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not as bad as it kind of first looked first looks.
Burnley was up
I
pretty
can't tell if he's pulled out of the challenge as well. That's the other thing.
I think he's
Maximus
clipped him, but he hasn't. I think
late,
he's,
isn't it?
yeah, he's clipped him, but he hasn't properly gone through.
No.
Maximus Roy's got my same concern. Anyone else worrying? Where's that gone again now? Anyone else worry if we've not got transfers in by Blackburn and we win a few, they might not do much?
Yeah, I think
That's true.
a possibility.
Yeah.
I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Other friendlies currently: Burnley 1, Espanyol 1, Bristol City 3, Newcastle 0, Watford 0, Fiorentina 1, and that's all it from the Championship teams around us.
But yeah, they're all playing decent teams, aren't they?
But again, you don't know if it's first teams, right? What
Yeah.
the team is.
Yeah, could be another Birmingham Barcelona situation.
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill's Ipswich Town 0, Osasuna 1.
Nice.
Yeah, it's hard to, you know what I mean? It's got to be a balanced approach. Yes, you do want to pick up a few wins, but you want to see the right patterns of play. Listen, even if, so say we win 3 or 4 on the weekend against a team that's going to be stronger than what Doncaster are, doesn't mean we're going to be winning the league by 50 points or anything stupid, does it?
No.
So Noodles has asked, do we have a first team? I think we've actually got enough players for 3 teams at the moment. I think it's just talking about a team of quality as opposed to having a team. I think that's the challenge at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, half of these will go back to the under-21s. You know what I mean? A lot of them.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, Gab, is that for a lot of these players, this is their audition, you know, to say, are you good enough to be coming off the bench, playing in the squad, you know?
Yeah.
Long old championship season.
Oh, come on, you've got to do better there, man.
Oh, Pereira putting it at the keeper again, isn't it?
I mean, it's a good arm by the goalkeeper, but he has to be squaring it.
It's not in the it's not in the corner, is it? You know what I mean? Like it's essentially
it's arm wide. He's not drilling it. It's not in the corners. I think for me, if you're playing in that position, you should be burying in that.
I think the square for the tap-ins, the easy one there. Especially with him being on his weaker foot, the fact that he's not scored it when there's a square pass so easily on. Looking at the replay, surely in a second.
Good pass by Lopez as well, slipping him through.
Well, that was his first opportunity. Yeah, it was a nice slide pass from Lopez. Chirera left foot. Let's say it's a strong arm by the goalkeeper. But he's got to be doing a lot better. I think
was there, wasn't he?
Square pass. I'll tell a lie. The square pass isn't even on. I think there's enough defenders that block that, but he needs to be working the keeper better, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think this is our concern. I know, Paul, you've just said that they aren't good enough. I think that's probably a general statement, but I think, you know, we just don't look like we've got that cutting edge, and I think that's going to be the problem. We need to get the goals in. Does Raul score that? He probably does. But, you know, we need to get other players in and getting them in and around. I think that's an example there where I think Chirua is just, I don't think he's of the standard.
No. Oh, flipping out.
Can't on to space.
I admire Pedro Lima's desire to have an effort, but he's not known for his left foot top corners, is he?
No.
What's your thoughts at the moment, Tyler?
I think the big takeaway I'm getting from the second half is that Fer Lopez got straight into that position that we said he would do.
Yeah.
And I think the way he's passing some of these through balls, as we've said already, there's going to Raul or someone more competent, you know, because Chirera has had a good couple of bites at the cherries, you know, in many games, and he never looks any good to me anyway. I think slots him away. I honestly do.
He should be looking at trying to be leading the line for Doncaster. I think Chirera, that's probably his sort of level now, isn't it? To be honest,
I think he's below that. If I'm honest, Doncaster are League One. I think if you look at Maidenhead, I think that's probably where he's at. I think that's reality.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where his loans have been. It's that kind of level. It's not going to be. I don't see him tearing up League One next season, particularly based on what we're seeing.
He must.
I mean, he went to
good,
Derby.
He must have looked good at Ipswich because I can't even tell you an academy game for Wolves where he's. I remember certain goals that Conor Ronan scored for the academy. I couldn't tell you anything from Torreira.
I think he's one of those.
Conor Ronan was really tidy though, wasn't he? I think he just came in at a bad time because he come under Nuno, didn't he, more or less? And
hadn't he been in around?
Everyone.
Hadn't Conor Ronan been in and around City though as well early on in his career? Or am I making that up?
I think you might be right.
Well, he was from Rochdale. He's from the Rochdale area, so he could have been.
But I think he'd had early doors. I think he started at City, dropped out there, and come back round. Could be wrong on that.
What the hell's happened to him? You know what? That's actually a really good question.
Wasn't he? He went to Colorado Rapids like Jack Price, didn't he?
Yeah, Jack Price. Yeah, that's the last thing I remember about him.
Wasn't he? Was he from Man City or did he? Was he at Rochdale? I have something in my mind tells me he's at Rochdale. I mean, even Sutherland's Andre in a mire there. I mean, Bentley's pulled off a half decent save, but really avoidable moment from Wolves. Andre's megged the player and run out of possession. Doncaster pressing.
I was Hodge. Thank you, Paul. Joe Hodge was City. I knew there was. They come through at a similar time. Thank you, Paul. That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Conor Ronan plays for Aberdeen.
But
there you go.
Oh dear. 67 minutes gone. Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. As always, thanks again for tuning into this live watch along on the Wolves Fancast. Press the like button, subscribe. It really helps us. Try and take something away from tonight as Wolves bore us to a 0-0.
Yeah.
I think the problem is now we really do. You've got Fair Lopez, but then you look at the front three. There's nothing there really. They're kids.
No.
Or Limas is a right back playing out of position. So, we don't really have that cutting edge. We don't really have that. We look solid enough at the back, and we should do with the three of the back four, being internationals, and two, but you look at the rest, midfield so, but the attacking here now we've got kids on, and it's showing really.
Where's did Mane play the first game? Oh, God's sake.
No, he didn't.
Jesus.
Where's he?
Jesus.
I
think
mean,
Mane's got a slight knock.
The cameraman needs to do us a bit of a favour there when they're on the attack.
Yeah, that's cut straight from a replay to them being straight on goal. It wasn't helpful.
It was half decent save by Dan Bentley. Went out for a corner.
Sutherland to Cressy. Cressy's missed it. Well, I don't think Sutherland actually got it, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened
He's
twice.
been quite loose with his passes, yeah. Quite loose.
No rhythm have they whatsoever, Krejci or even Sutherland. I think even Sutherland's put it onto Krejci's right foot twice and it's ended up going out or playing us into trouble. Second corner in a row for Doncaster.
Yeah. Sutherland's not had a good half.
I can't really say that Krejci's to blame there, Patrick, in the comment section.
No.
I think that's purely down to Ethan Sutherland not knowing what's Krejci's preferred foot.
Oh,
yeah.
Corner comes in again. Cleared by Krejci.
Good ball, Lopez. Oh, good challenge. He's got his money back.
I think he could be a good player for us, Lopez. I think he's having a good half.
It's one of them, isn't it? He's you don't want to get too excited because it's
talent. You can see there's a player there. You can see the talent's there. It's about
I've seen that last. Oh,
I mean, let's see.
oh for God's sake!
Got to be a goal. Keeper saves again from Pedro Lima. We're getting in all the right areas, but the final shot, the final pass in the box is lacking.
This is where we're shown we don't have that cutting edge
in
these front three. They don't look confident. They don't look like scoring. Now I've said that, obviously one of them will ping it in the top bins from about 30 yards out, but at the moment, yeah.
Oh, Menezes is such a poor touch there.
For a professional footballer, you've got to be able to control the ball better than that.
The good thing about Lopez in this game is that he's making all the right decisions, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, we've had players in the past that wouldn't have played that pass; they would have just took it on themselves.
I think for Lopez taking a touch before the pass to Lima slowly tacked down there.
Yeah, but he's got to drill that.
He's still got a clean shot away, didn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lima's got to be doing better. Chance for Doncaster. Cleared by Andre.
I mean, I'll go back to last season. Krejci's goal against Everton, I think it's the home game of the season.
Yeah.
Lopez got the assist for that.
Yeah.
I think the whole season we never saw a pass like that ever again for the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, that says more about everyone else more than him, to be honest. But, you know, that was a bit of creativity that we never had.
Gut feeling, Tyler, is there a goal in this game?
I'd like to think so, but it's just been boring, hasn't it, really? You know, we've made chances, but like we're just shooting them at the keeper and stuff, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah,
I thought Dan Bentley had made a hash of that cross then, but he went out for a goal kick beforehand.
What's the keeper situation? Any closer?
Not from what I'm told. There might be a little bit of news that comes out later on this evening, but as far as it stands, we're still struggling to get Jose Sarr out the door. Why we can't be proactive and just get another goalkeeper in and then just crowbar Sarr out at another time, I don't know. I'm not.
Well, you know what? To be honest, with the way he was acting in the last, around the training ground, for me, they could have got another goalkeeper. If no one came in for him, saying, all right, you can train with the under 21s until January. In my opinion, he doesn't deserve the opportunity to be a number one in this team now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, with the way he was acting in and around Compton, he shouldn't even get that grace. Really, to be fair.
Yeah. 73 minutes gone. Doncaster 0, Wolves 0. Is there anyone really on the bench that we can see making an impact here?
I don't think he'll change it now unless there's a knock. I think that's his plan. I think his plan is to go with 2 45s. Bentley stays in goal. And I think we won't see a change. I think that was his plan, is to give everyone 45 minutes, give them all a run out. I don't see a change in that.
No.
No, there's literally no one on that bench, is there?
It's only that Olagunju, really, and he's. I liked him in the Maidenhead game, but obviously he's not really required right now, is he? To be honest.
I think I'm behind you, Gav. Based on your side.
Oh, sorry. I'll stop making noises.
No, it's fine, mate. That's just acting as a Wolves fan.
It's just the way of the stream. Trevor's got a target there. It's middle of the goal, 20 yards out. Under no pressure, really. Just over.
Target there for me.
Give Wolf 8-5-1-5. Sack the fucking lot, honestly.
That's something you would say.
Yeah.
Fold the club. I'm fucking sick of Wolves.
Is that your burner account by any chance?
I've got my hands free here. Nothing to do with me. JP Sports section. Will Hwang get more than 2 goal contributions this season? I'd be surprised.
I think Hwang could do well in the championship, to be honest. It's just but he just needs a break. He just needs a break from Wolves. And Wolves
he needs a different club. We're done with us. He's done with us.
Yeah.
I think that's the reality. And if he goes and does somewhere good somewhere else, good luck to him. But I think we're just at a point now where it's just not going to work out.
It's one of them. It's like he could go on and do really well somewhere else, but it's just not going to happen here for whatever reason.
I think there's
on the attack here, cross from the right coming in, a slide pass. Oh, good block by Manetzi. Yes, Finley Bent 7-7-8-7. The score is currently 0-0. We are in the 75 minute with Doncaster about to have a corner into the Wolves area. in swinger.
Maximus, right? Podence isn't coming back. Don't start that because you'll get Dan going again.
Come on, got a counter here. Where's the bodies? Where's the bodies? Where's the runners?
Done.
Conor McLeod. Chirera on the left.
Oh,
Cuts in. Cross. Nowhere near anyone. Ball lands to Mosquera to Trippier.
You're right. That's so many times.
Have we got a striker on this pitch?
Not really. That's the
Chirera.
problem.
I was just obviously with the Trera cross. There's no striker there, and then
Yeah.
We're
You've
getting
got-
chances with no one there.
You've got a youngster.
Venezia with a.
Yeah,
I'm going to pass it. It was a back pass shot to their goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think I'm in front, and that's what I saw, and I was like, we haven't got a striker on this pitch at all.
Neil, I think that says it
Not
all,
really.
to be honest, mate. Your comment,
Oh.
that says everything.
Oh, Jesus.
I think no comment. I think the reality is what we're seeing is we've got a front three of two striker who I've spent the last hour or so saying isn't good enough, and he's proving me right at the moment. We've got a right back and a young lad, and against the League One side, that's where we just don't look like scoring. We don't have that stuff. So I
In
think
what mind is this team looking positive?
it's not. I think if you look at the second half, Fer Lopez has been busy, and he's played a couple of nice passes through slide rule. We've had a couple of rickets at the back, but
Do you think this is Girona from last pre-season?
I have no idea.
that was crap as well, in my opinion.
Perhaps he's back watching the cup in China. Perhaps he's watching that back to 2019. We don't look like scoring, and that's. I think our route to goal will be either a set piece, corner, free kick, something like that,
Yeah.
or a massive
Probably.
mistake on their part.
That's the big conundrum, isn't it, Ben James? Do you still expect George Mendes to be involved in most of our business this window, or does Matt Jackson actually do anything?
I think my opinion is Mendes will be involved in most deals in some shape or form, even if they're not.
I think.
players, even if they're not a Gestafuti player, he'll still be involved in some shape or form.
Yeah. It's going to all happen at the end of the window, isn't it? Once Mendes knows what he's got left over, how can he juggle it around to try and fit him into Wolves?
The frustrating thing for me is Matt Jackson is, he had a good career as a player, and he's got his hands tied at Wolves. I don't know what his salary is, but it must be quite handsome for being tasked to do a job that you can't make any inroads with.
It's interesting because he was when he finished. Dan, I did a bit of research on him. When he finished, he was actually an agent, and then he moved over, and then he was a loans manager for a while.
That's right.
And we've suddenly put him in charge of all of our transfer activity. So
The thing is, I don't think he'd get the same role at any other club.
that's why. Well, this is it. This is for me. That's what we're talking about here. I think that's my opinion. And I could be wrong, but based on the limited evidence, I'm not convinced.
But that's it. There's a limited amount of input that he's got when clearly the owners are reliant on what Mendes can move around for us when it's clearly nowhere near his tier one conveyor belt of players anymore.
No.
I mean, his agency, if you look at the players, it's very much an aging, list. And a lot of the players that he had before, when we were picking up players like, Caviero and, those kind of players just aren't there at the moment. He's got a few, like Coutinho and that, but
that's the thing is, you mentioned on the last episode that, in the Nuno promotion season, we signed Neves, Jota and Volley, but we'd already had Sace, Cavallero and Costa the season before.
Yeah.
Lovely shot by McLeod there.
I mean, it's a nice pass from Krejci into Chirera
Yeah.
and the cloud just over the bar, keeper stretching, but we are trying. But like we said, it just feels like
we've scored. Fair Lopez.
You're ahead.
Because you're ahead of us.
Far ahead. How much did you pay for your stream, Tyler? Did you get a £10?
Oh no, I've got the premium, mate. It just jumped forward.
Yeah, bottom left, in off the post. It feels we've pressed them high again.
My video to be in line with you guys.
Yeah, somehow it's landed to Fer Lopez, dead centre of the middle of the goal, and he's side-footed in bottom left, in off the post.
Exclusive. They're a full minute ahead of everyone else.
Wolves have taken the lead away at Doncaster through Fer Lopez.
I think he was the likeliest to score. Outside of a set piece, he was probably the likeliest to score.
It's cleared terribly by Doncaster. It's Andre who passes it to Fer Lopez, and with a bit of composure, it's bottom left, in off the post, and we are fully aboard. HMS Piss the lead.
Just in it.
You know what? At least Fer Lopez is going to come away with a bit of confidence off this game, isn't he?
Was there a bit of a deflection on that?
I think so. The keeper, I think, has got a hand on it, and might have just got fingers on it. Doesn't matter. It's still in.
Goal's a goal.
Yeah, and like you say, it's good to get that. Yeah, that was a bit of a mad one there, Tyler.
You said, didn't you, Greg? It's going to come from a mistake.
Yeah, it was either a mistake or a set piece, and yeah.
If anyone is interested, I have got a spare. Oh, I can't even do it.
Oh, you disappeared.
You disappeared, mate.
I have got
there we go.
A 2XL Oasis Mad Furry t-shirt spare.
There you go. Anyone in the chat that's a 2XL that wants a Fer Lopez t-shirt, drop a note in the chat.
Is it actually 2XL?
Mate, that must be like a duvet for you. 2XL shirt.
It was a shirt competition that we did ages ago that I never got round to giving the winner. I had to send him one in the post.
Yeah, so there we go. So if anyone's got 2XL, wants a bit of 2XL. And I just realised that Tyler's on the premium channel. I'm on the ITV +1 channel. Going through. Oh, there you are. You've got one, Dan. Wemmiss.
Yeah, Wemmiss 1966. Email your name and address to wolvesfootballfancast@gmail.com and I'll try and get it out in the post this week.
There you go.
What a guy.
We're the channel that just keeps on giving. You know, from Taylor Swift dating to Wolves opinions, t-shirts, you know.
I mean, he was right. The team is looking positive and Wolves lead at Doncaster. Is there a penalty?
Penalty.
Surely, yeah.
Yeah.
See, mine's gone behind now. I've gone from the premium to the
It's because they've heard me. They're moaning. They've got
quick dropping back. Yeah.
The keepers took out Connor McLeod, and it looks like the
Chirera, I think.
Chirera.
Chirera. Oh, that means that Chirera's taking it as well. This is make or break for Twander Chirera as a Wolves player, because I think he's going to step up to take this penalty.
Yeah, scored for Wolves before, has he? I don't think he's even scored in a friendly, I don't think.
I don't remember him scoring. Not in the senior team.
There we go. He's got the shorts.
What would you do here, lad? I know what you would do, Dan, because I've seen you take pens before.
Yeah, that's well done.
Would you absolutely just level it on? Nice finish.
Yeah, nice finish. Good penalty. A great penalty.
Penalty. Went through a bit of a stutter, which didn't really work in the World Cup, but has worked for him tonight, and he's put that into the corner. Nice penalty, actually. I have spent all night slating him, so I do need to give him credit where it's due. That was
it's a good penalty. It's a good penalty.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully you can kick on now, and this is the dynasty of Chirera that we've all been waiting for.
All right, let's
Yeah.
just calm this right down now. I'm willing to accept his score, but let's.
I think he's done enough tonight to start against Blackburn.
Yeah, Danny P's put tell Raoul not to unpack. Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with that happening.
I don't want to say anything, but Torreira scored more penalties than Ralph for Wolves this season.
Fact. Oh, come on. Oh, nice. Oh, so lucky. That's good. No composure, man.
If you ever want to ask questions for our podcast, you can email us wolvesfootballfancast@gmail.com. If you'd like to try and appear on the show, if you want to get your opinions across in person, drop us an email, wolvesfootballfancast@gmail.com. We're always looking for new people, fresh voices, and a whistleblower is commandeering the comment section as I speak, whilst Maximus Wright comments we're pissing the league.
Oh,
And unfortunately, for the first time in Wolves YouTube history, I'm going to have to ban a whistleblower.
Mute him.
oh.
Crossing from Doncaster, and it's a bit nervy, but Wolves deal with it quite easily. In the end, it goes out for a goal kick, I believe.
Dan's hit the ban hammer. God, it is a new season, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to figure out what he's done.
All right.
And let that be a lesson to anyone who wants to abuse the comment section. I will bring down the axe.
Yeah, you can have your opinions, guys. You can tell us we're rubbish, tell us we're useless, but don't just put spam in there.
Coming up to 88 minutes, Doncaster 0, Wolves 2, long ball from Crecci towards Pedro Lima. Tyler, we're winning 2-0 now, just FYI.
Oh, that's just...
Yeah. It also feels like the season is coming. I got my first Wolves direct debit payment went out yesterday.
Oof.
So, 88 minutes gone, everyone. We're starting to see if we can try and grab a third. That would be a nice finish if we can get a third before the end. Although I know I've just said that, we just give the ball away.
Ding, ding.
I'll take a clean sheet right now.
We'll keep hold of Krejci.
At the end of the day, we paid 30 mil, didn't we? So we're going to want at least 30 mil back. At least. I think we all spent, and I don't think if anyone will pay 30 mil. But he hasn't gone down in value, has he, from playing with us, because he's been playing well.
Maximus, no, I'm not your base, mate.
Oh, I'm in the Billy Roy.
He's in the posh end. Gab's in the safe bank as well. There you go.
That's correct, yeah.
Tyler Prawn
That's
sandwiches on social media.
Were you in the super posh end with the padded seats and the?
Nah, I'm down the bottom by the temp stand.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I am in between SL4 is where I'm at.
Well, you know what?
There we go.
Wasn't a comment, but...
Yeah. Full time, Doncaster 0, Wolves 2. Thanks for joining myself, Tyler, Gav, and Greg on tonight's show. Wasn't comfortable in the slightest. Thankfully, we've got back to winning ways before Saturday's fixture at home to Racing Santander.
Yeah.
Tyler, your thoughts on the performance and the results and your man of the match tonight?
Well, we got the win in the end, and I'm going to give man of the match to Fer Lopez just because of how well he played that second half.
Yeah, he set up a few chances in the second half, got the goal.
Yeah.
Nice for him to get on the score sheet in a Wolves shirt. Same question to you, Greg. Thoughts on the performance, result, and man of the match?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of work to do going forward. Attacking wise, we need to attack with a lot more pace and power. So yeah, definitely think we need to look at that. But yeah, on to the next game, and definitely Fer Lopez. Couldn't agree more.
Gav, I caught the second half. What your thoughts on the performance and your man of the match?
Yeah, I think basically what Greg said. Still got work to do, but I think it'll be more interesting on Saturday when we get the full squad out just to see how they gel together. I do think Raul Jimenez is going to make a difference with his link-up play and stuff and hold-up play, as well as a few others as well. But in terms of man of the match, it's got to be Senor Lopez. Has to be.
Can we try and offer to Andy Chirera some positivity? I know he got himself on the score sheet in the end. On another night, he probably could have got 2 goals. He's got himself in the right positions. Hopefully, now he's got a goal in a Wolves shirt, gives him a bit more confidence, and him and the Dozy can push for that 9th sub-bench place.
I'm not. I'll let the other two. I'm not. That's too much of an about turn for me. Sorry.
This channel's so negative. Why can't you be more positive? Why am I always the positive?
I'm going to let them. No, I'm happy to take positivity, but I think I've formed my position now on Chirera, and one penalty isn't going to change my position on that, unfortunately.
Scoring, well, you know what? At least he's going to leave Wolves. Well, if he does leave Wolves, he's got 1 goal to his name.
Yeah, add a couple, couple more zeros onto that price check, get him done, I reckon.
Yeah. That goal tonight may have got him a move to Macclesfield instead of Maidenhead.
Oh, he's done it. It's big time now.
Big time,
Get him.
Yeah.
Right, new contract. I want Liam Keane, new contract for Tuana Chirera by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, I'm unfollowing Liam Keane.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just showing that we played the first goal again, and it's one of them, isn't it? They're all doing the Pep Guardiola, playing it out from the back, and have just overdone it. Got closed down, and then, yeah, that's done them. Yeah.
Good finish, I guess.
It's a good finish. Listen, it's a good finish. It's good pressing, but they should.
You did say, didn't you? It was either going to be a set piece or a Doncaster calamity, and that goal is a calamity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's given us the confidence to go on and,
Yeah. But on another night, similar to Maidenhead tonight, on another night, it could have been 4 or 5 with a bit more clinical finishing, someone a bit stronger like Raul in the areas where Chirera was. I think Minetti had a couple of half chances in the box where I think Raul minimum hits the target.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even
Or at least works the keeper a little bit more.
Even their second goal is an absolute calamity where the keeper's passed it to Andre 30 yards out. He's passed it through to Anna Chirera, who draws the foul from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But that's the levels we're playing against, and I think that's where the majority of concerns is with regards to this Wolves squad, is that we're playing against a really, Doncaster in League One, did you say, tonight?
Yeah, they're League One.
Yeah, I mean, they're only a division below us, and periods of that game they were pressing us back. So it's good that we've got the win, but there's so much room for improvement, and my concern is still that Fosun are banking all the sales and they're not going to spend a penny over the parachute payments, because that's really not their money that they're investing.
Number 60 was Ethan Sullivan, and he came on as a second half substitute playing left back. Raymond. So yeah.
Well, we've got 2 weeks now, haven't we? 2 weeks to the Blackburn game, 1 week to the Port Vale game.
9 days.
Work to do. There's work to do, isn't there? Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be some news that comes out in the next sort of 12 hours in regards to where we are potentially with the goalkeeper and the incoming scenario around that. There is a lot of people talking about Zeta Strom in the comment section. From my sources who have been reliable to this moment, Zeta Strom is not in the list of players that Wolves are interested in. My sources may not be concrete, But what I've been told today, from the moment Rob Edwards was sacked, Rafiki Saeed signing before he did, Zeta Strom, Patterson, Jacobson from Stoke, that they're not goalkeepers that are currently on Wolves' hit list for goalkeepers. So keep an eye on that. We are supposedly linked to a midfielder that plays in Europe of South American origin. If anything comes of that, be sure to look at Wolves Fancast on social media for the latest news. And for myself, Tyler, Greg, and Gav, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Before you leave,
Thank you.
For the rest of your week, hopefully we'll be doing another stream on Saturday for Racing Santander. Take care. All the best. Up the Wolves.
Thank you.